fractions. Today we're going to look at two-step and the ones on the back. Or not the ones on the back, the ones on the very, very last page. Okay, so did anybody have any questions on any of these? No. Okay, awesome. So let's go ahead and look at two-step. So it says to solve a two-step equation, first undo the addition, subtraction, remove the constant term, then undo a multiplication division problem to remove a coefficient. Now, there are a couple different types of two-step equations you can have, okay? You can have the ones that look like these and the ones that look like these. Both of them are kind of a little bit different. So when we are looking at ones that look like this, I have to get rid of any constant first, okay? So what do I need to do to get rid of that constant, that plus 8? Minus 8. So let's do that on both sides. And then we get 6x equals what? Okay, then what? Divide both sides by 6. Okay, so x equals, there we go, that's our answer. Okay. All right, on the next question, number 10, what do I do first on it? Add 5 on both sides. So we get 2n equals what? 16. Now, we have 2 times n. How do I undo that? Divide by 2. Perfect. So n equals 8. Awesome. Any questions on that one? Okay, cool. For 11, what do I do? So we get 13 minus 9 is? What was that? 4. Then we have negative 4k. What do I do now? Divide negative 4k. So what is 4 divided by negative 4? Equals just a plain old k. That's our answer. Any questions on that one? Awesome. For 12. Minus what? 7. Okay. So we get negative 3y equals, what is 34 minus 7? 7. Now what? Then that's our answer. Then we're going to flip to the back. Or not the back, the next page. All right. Now we are going to look at number 13. What do I do for 13? Okay, now what? Okay, so what's it equal first? Okay, so we get x over 2 equals 16. Now what do I do? Okay, so this one is different than the ones with the full fractions, right? Because this doesn't have a full fraction. What's the only thing in this numerator over here? The numerator? Okay. Just x, right? So do I need to move the x? No, I don't, right? It needs to say where it's at. So how can I move just the denominator? Multiply by 2. So we multiply both sides by 2. Those cancel and we just get left with x equals 32 as our answer. Now we're going to look at 14. What do I do first on 14? So what is 11 minus 8? Then we get c over negative 5. Now what? So we get what equals C? Just like that. Okay, now we're going to look at 15. So do y'all see how 15 is different than 13? So it has a whole fraction in front instead of just a denominator. So that's where we have to flip it and multiply by the reciprocal. Okay, but before I do that, what do I got to do first? Subtract. So we get 3/5 x equals, now what? By, what is the reciprocal? Do I do that on one side or both? Okay, and so we get, what's going to be on the left side? So the left side is this one. What is going to be left on the left side? Because all of these things cancel each other out. Now on the right side, okay, so yesterday I showed y'all one way we can simplify, right? So I showed you how, if you, what is technically under that 6? And so what did I show y'all yesterday that you can use to simplify?
How many threes can go into the 6?
Yeah, which would be what?
2.
And how many 3s can go into the 3? 1. So we get 2 times 5 is 10. Now, if you don't want to do that method confuses you. Don't do that method, okay? You could have said 6 times 5, which is 30, all divided by 3, which is still going to give you 10. Either method is fine with me. Does that make sense? I'm good with either way. You're doing it mathematically correct both ways. I'm just showing you a different way to work it. This is the way that I was actually taught how to do it. But then a lot of people also teach just do it this way. I am good if you do either. Okay? This way you'll typically have bigger fractions. But this way you'll deal with smaller numbers. So it's whatever your preference is there. 16. What do I do to solve 16? What was that? What did y'all say? Subtract 1 on both sides. So we get negative 1/3 m equals what? Negative 8. Because we're saying negative 7 minus 1 more. So we're taking away another one from negative 7, which makes us go to negative 8. How do I undo that fraction? Multiply by what? What is the reciprocal of this one? 3/1. Now when I go to actually multiply by that, does the 1 in the denominator matter?
No.
Yep, so we get m equals what? 24. And that's our answer. Let's go ahead and drop down to number 19. So number 19 is different than the ones we just did, right? How is it different? Well, what I have to do first on this one? Can I move the 11? Why can't I move the 11? Because it's part of this fraction too, isn't it? So since it's already a part of a fraction, I want to try to get rid of that fraction first. Because both of these things are being divided by 8. So how would I undo that? Times 8. So we get x plus 11 equals what? Negative. And then what? Which gives x equals negative 35 as our answer. Because we can't move this 11 until we undo this. Because it's attached to something. What about 20? What do I do first on 20? I need to multiply by what? Positive or negative? So we get n minus 5 equals, then what?
And then you subtract 5.
Or
Oh, add.
add. So we get n equals,
19.
that's our answer. So do we have questions on problems like 19 and 20? Are we good? All right, I want y'all to take a minute or two, and I want you to finish the last 4 on this page. We didn't do 17, 18, or 21 and 22. So I want y'all to take a second and work on those.